Welcome to Sheffield, a city rich in history and forged in the fires of industry. But beneath the surface of this vibrant metropolis lies a hidden world of mystery and the unexplained. Today, we invite you to join us on a journey through some of Sheffield's most haunted attractions, where the past lingers in eerie and unsettling ways. From centuries-old pubs echoing with whispers of lost souls, to museums where artifacts aren't the only remnants of the past, and stately homes that house more than just memories. We'll explore the dark and haunting side of the old steel city. So brace yourself as we embark on this spine-chilling tour of Sheffield's ghostly landmarks. Let's start with the eerie tale of the Stocksbridge Bypass, a road so notorious that even the bravest travellers might consider avoiding it. Constructed at the costs of millions of pounds, this bypass quickly gained a dark reputation. During the project, many of the construction workers chose to sleep on site, drawn by convenience, but they soon found themselves in the midst of something far from ordinary. As the workers settled in for the night, they began to hear strange noises, specifically the unsettling sound of children laughing in the dead of night. Despite thorough searches and multiple investigations, the source of these eerie sounds remained a mystery. The situation took a more unnerving turn when the workers started seeing a group of children appearing out of nowhere. These children were often spotted dancing in circles around a pylon near the bypass, vanishing as soon as they were noticed. The increasing reports of these bizarre events eventually drew the attention of local law enforcement, who assigned officers to stake out the area. The initial hours of their overnight surveillance passed without incident, lulling the officers into a false sense of calm. But their peace was shattered when they were suddenly gripped by an overwhelming sense of fear. To their shock, they saw a shadowy figure standing menacingly outside the squad car. Though the figure disappeared almost as soon as it was spotted, the officers bound by duty stepped out of their vehicle to investigate, only to find no trace of this mysterious entity. Determined to get to the bottom of these strange occurrences, the officers continued their patrol down the bypass, but as they pulled over to stop again, they were jolted by the sensation of their car being struck by a larger speeding vehicle. Yet, upon inspection, there was no damage, no evidence of another car, and no logical explanation. This disturbing phenomena happened 3 times throughout the night, each time leaving the officers more bewildered than before. Since that fateful night, the Stocksbridge Bypass has gained a chilling reputation, with hundreds of motorists reported sightings of hooded monk-like figures appearing along the road. These terrifying apparitions have earned the bypass the title of one of the most haunted stretches of road in the world. I think we need a drink to settle those nerves. The Old Queen's Head Public House on Pond Hill in Sheffield boasts a rich history, as it occupies the oldest domestic building in the entire city. This venerable structure has been home to many prominent figures over the centuries, including the Earl of Shrewsbury. Originally, the Old Queen's Head pub was established in a neighbouring building, but as its popularity grew, it expanded into the historic property during the 1800s, adding another layer of intrigue to its storied past. When people describe a place as creepy, they typically refer to the unsettling vibes, or perhaps a lingering sense of unease. But at the Old Queen's Head, creepy takes on a whole new meaning, especially when you consider the paranormal activity reported within its walls. The pub is famous, or perhaps infamous, for one of its most notorious spirits, a ghost with a particularly unnerving habit. This spectral presence is said to haunt the ladies' room, and female patrons frequently report a chilling experience. an unseen force attempting to unlock the doors of occupied cubicles. The feeling of being watched or intruded upon in such a vulnerable space has left many women too frightened to return. The ghost's antics seem to be more than just playful. They evoke a deep, unsettling discomfort, as though the spirit is intentionally targeting those who use the restroom, adding a layer of personal intrusion that is rare even in haunted locations. But the strange occurrences at the Old Queen's Head don't end there. Following some renovations on the pub, a new mystery began to unfold. Every night, after the last patrons had left and the staff had tidied up, a pint would mysteriously appear on the bar. At first, the landlord assumed that this was simply an oversight by his team, who perhaps missed it during cleanup. However, when the same pint continued to reappear night after night, he began to suspect something more peculiar was at play. Determined to get to the bottom of the mystery, the landlord decided to taste the drink, only to find that it wasn't any beverage he served at his pub. The discovery piqued his curiosity, leading him to conduct a little experiment. He decided to leave the mysterious pint on the bar overnight, untouched, to see what would happen. When he returned the next morning, the glass was empty, as if someone, or something, had come in after hours to enjoy the drink. Intrigued and a bit unnerved, the landlord set up a CCTV camera to catch the phantom drinker in the act. But just as mysteriously as it had started, the phenomena ceased, leaving no trace of the ghostly patron. Despite his efforts, the identity of the pint-leaving spirit remains a mystery, adding yet another chapter to the eerie lore of the Old Queen's Head. The pub continues to draw both locals and visitors, not just for its historic charm, but for the chance to experience its ghostly residents firsthand. Unlike many haunted locations in the United Kingdom that shy away from their eerie reputations, Carbrook Hall embraces its ghostly history with pride. The pub openly advertises itself as Sheffield's most haunted public house, drawing in thrill seekers and paranormal enthusiasts from far and wide. Whether it truly holds the title of Sheffield's most haunted pub is debatable, but there's no denying that Carbrook Hall has been the site of countless unexplained phenomena. With a rich history dating back centuries, the pub has accumulated more than its fair share of ghostly residents, making it a hotspot for those seeking an encounter with the supernatural. Among the spectral inhabitants of Carbrook Hall is John Blunt, a former proprietor who lived during a tumultuous time in English history. In the 1640s, Oliver Cromwell is said to have used the pub as a meeting place during the English Civil War, and Blunt's spirit seems to linger, perhaps watching over the establishment he once managed. Unlike some of the more malevolent spirits reported at other haunted locations, Blunt's ghost is relatively benign, content to quietly exist in the background of the pub's daily life. Another frequently reported apparition is that of an elderly woman dressed in 1920s attire. She's often seen sitting in a rocking chair, gently moving back and forth, as if lost in her own memories. But not all the spirits at Carbrook Hall are so peaceful. Much like the Old Queen's Head, the bathrooms at Carbrook Hall are a source of dread for many female patrons. A mischievous entity haunts the women's restrooms, often preventing them from leaving their cubicles. This ghostly prankster delights in tapping women on the stalls, leaving them frantic and unnerved until they can finally escape. The sensation of being stuck with no apparent reason, combined with the cold and eerie atmosphere, has left many too frightened to return. The pub's history is not only filled with ghostly encounters, but also with tales of tragedy. One of the most infamous incidents occurred on a cold January's night in 1875. As the winter wind howled outside, two men inside Carbrook Hall were warming themselves with drinks, their spirits high as they enjoyed the evening. As closing time approached, the two friends, now thoroughly intoxicated, began to wrestle in a playful manner. Encouraged by the cheer of other patrons, What began as harmless fun quickly turned deadly. In a tragic twist of fate, one of the men, still holding a knife from an earlier jest, accidentally stabbed his friend. The man, in his drunken state, had forgotten he was holding a blade, and with one careless swing, delivered a fatal blow to his companion. The horror of that night has left an indelible mark on Carbrook Hall, adding to its reputation as a place where the veil between the living and dead is thin. Visitors to the pub may come for the history or the atmosphere, but many leave with stories of strange occurrences, inexplicable chills, and the unsettling feeling that they were not alone. Whether it's the spirit of John Blunt, the rocking elderly woman, or the mischievous bathroom ghost, Carbrook Hall remains a place where the past refuses to rest, and the paranormal is very much alive. From losing lives to saving lives, the National Emergency Service Museum in Sheffield has long been a favourite destination for those fascinated by the history of fire and police services. However, in recent years, it has also become a hotbed of paranormal activity, attracting ghost hunters and paranormal enthusiasts from all over the country. With its rich history and countless reports of ghostly encounters, the museum has earned a reputation as one of the most haunted places in the region. The museum's owners have fully embraced this eerie aspect of their establishment, regularly hosting overnight ghost hunts that allow visitors to explore its haunted halls after dark. One of the organisations that frequently collaborate with the museum is Haunted Rooms, a group dedicated to providing thrilling paranormal experiences. They often team up with the museum to offer guided ghost hunts that promise a night of spine-chilling encounters. Information about up-and-coming events can be found on their website under the Ghost Hunt section, where eager participants can sign up for the chance to come face-to-face with the unknown. Among the spirits said to haunt the museum is Cain, one of its most infamous and active ghosts. Cain is believed to be the spirit of a former prisoner who was held at the museum during its time as a police station. Unlike some spirits that prefer to remain in the shadows, Cain is known for his willingness to interact with mediums and visitors alike. Those who have communicated with him report that Cain has identified the very cell where he spent much of his earthly existence, a place he remains deeply connected to, even in death. However, Cain's interactions are not always friendly. He is known to have a volatile temper, especially when someone tries to enter his former cell. Many who have attempted to do so have experienced Cain's wrath firsthand. He has been known to violently hurl glasses across the room in fits of rage, and there are reports of him attempting to strike visitors with objects he somehow manages to manipulate, despite his ghostly nature. One account from a previous ghost hunt described as particularly intense encounter. We were in the cell area when suddenly, out of nowhere, a glass flew across the room and shattered against the wall. It was as if someone had thrown it with incredible force, but no one was near it. The temperature dropped immediately, and we all felt an overwhelming sense of anger in the air. It was unmistakable. Cain was not happy. Such stories are common among those who have dared to explore the darker sides of the National Emergency Services Museum. Whether it be the spectral presence of Cain or one of the other restless spirits said to inhabit the building, the museum offers a truly unique experience for those brave enough to delve into its haunted past. With every ghost hunt, new stories emerge, adding to the legend of the place where history and the paranormal collide. I think we deserve a rest after walking round, so let's enter Mosborough Hall Hotel, an exquisite venue located on Sheffield High Street. It's a favoured destination for couples seeking the perfect setting for their fairy tale wedding. The picturesque manor, with its charming architecture and lush surroundings, seems like something out of a romantic novel. However, beneath its idyllic exterior lies a history filled with dark tales and ghostly encounters that could easily belong on the pages of a Stephen King horror story rather than a Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale. Mosborough Hall is reportedly home to numerous spirits, the most famous of which is the tragic figure known as the White Lady. Her story dates back to the 16th century, when she was a young woman involved in a passionate and ill-fated affair with the manor's squire. According to legend, the squire initially wooed the young lady with promises of wealth, love, and support, especially after she became pregnant with his child. But as often happens in tales of betrayal, the squire soon went back on his word, abandoning her and refusing to provide for her or their unborn child. The affair, once filled with whispers of love, quickly devolved into heated arguments. Guests at the hotel today still report hearing the echoes of those long-past confrontations, muffled yelling and hostile voices resonating through the halls, as if the walls themselves have absorbed the pain and anger of that time. The tension between the squire and the young woman reached a vital climax, when in a desperate attempt to rid himself of the problem, the squire brutally murdered her by slitting her throat, killing both her and the unborn child. It is said that after the gruesome deed, her loyal dog found her body, and overcome with grief, pined away it until two died. This tragic tale might explain the frequent sightings of the phantom hound that roams the grounds, forever searching for its lost mistress. But the story of the White Lady is just one of many eerie occurrences that haunt Mosborough Hall. In the early 20th century, a doctor known for his strict adherence to science and rationality decided to put the manor's ghostly reputation to the test. Skeptical of the supernatural tales, he resolved to spend a night alone in one of the manor's rooms, confident that he would emerge unscathed and with his beliefs intact. The night seemed to pass without incident, and the doctor felt vindicated in his skepticism, until the morning, when a staff member arrived to unlock the door. They were met with a horrifying sight. The doctor's bed was soaked in blood. The doctor himself was unarmed, but he was as shocked as the staff member when he turned to see the bed drenched in blood that had seemingly appeared out of nowhere. The bed was spotless just moments before, the doctor later recounted, and in the blink of an eye, it was as if someone had poured buckets of blood over it while my back was turned. The incident remains one of the most chilling tales associated with Mosborough Hall, raising questions that science alone cannot easily answer. The manor, with its grand halls and elegant rooms, continues to be a place where history and the supernatural entwine. For those who visit, whether for a wedding or a ghost hunt, Mosborough Hall offers more than just a beautiful setting. It offers a glimpse into the world where the past refuses to rest and the spirits of the departed are never far away. And so our journey through the haunted heart of Sheffield comes to an end. We've explored the eerie corners of the century-old pubs, walked the haunted halls of historic museums, and uncovered the chilling secrets of stately homes where the past refuses to rest. But the stories we've shared are just a glimpse into the rich and ghostly tapestry that makes Sheffield so unique. As you leave this old steel city, remember that its history lingers in more ways than one. Perhaps in the shadows, just beyond what the eye can see. Until next time, stay curious, stay brave, and never stop exploring the mysteries that lie just beneath the surface.